My recent trip to Hong Kong is a fruitful one. I managed to savor the best wonton noodles in the world. And my siblings staying in Hong Kong has brought me to places that only the local knows how to go around to find some of the very exotic ingredients for wonton and wonton soup used by the local restaurants. Now in this video, I want to show you how to make the authentic wonton Hong Kong style. And I will also suggest to you what are the alternatives if you are not able to get all those exotic ingredients. I'm P.D. Kwan, thanks for joining me. Plunge the pork bone in boiling water for about 5 minutes to remove the impurities. Scrub the pork bones with a brush. That's how we do it. That will help to remove the cord blood, the small little debris, and the impurities. Fill the stock pot with cold water. So now we have the flounder, the dry shrimp, shrimp shells, ginger, few stalks of scallion, and the pork bones. The pork bones has been thoroughly scrubbed and cleaned after blanching. And make sure the level of water should be just enough to submerge all the ingredients. Now I want to bring it to a boil over medium heat before we reduce the heat and let it to be just bare simmer. Once the water is boiling, reduce to bare simmer like this for about 3 hours. Take a look of the small little bubbles. That is what we want. And you will get a clean broth after that. And also from time to time, skim off any scums on top to make sure that it is clean. Now 3 hours has passed. Now the soup is ready. And I'm going to remove all the bones and certainly all the rest of the ingredients too. After I had removed all the bones, I used strainer to strain all the broth. Okay. Now we have a clean wonton soup. I just seasoned the soup with some very basic seasoning, just salt and pepper. Alright. So the soup is ready. Before we combine the shrimp with the pork to make the fillings, we have to give the shrimp a pre-treatment. That is to make it become crunchy. That's how we do it. First, we add some water into it, just enough to cover it. And then add a teaspoon of salt and half teaspoon of baking powder. Alright, and then after that stir and leave it for 15 minutes or even much longer, even overnight, it doesn't matter. Now the goal is to make the shrimp become crunchy after it's cooked. That is what wonton is supposed to be. Now what you need to do is, after 15 minutes, take out the shrimp and dry it on a piece of kitchen towel, and it is ready to combine with the pork. As for the pork, cut it into small pieces like this, and then we coarsely mince it. Now this noodle, don't really have to make it really fine. So when you eat it, you still be able to feel the small little pieces of pork there. That's what we really want. These are the ingredients for wonton. We have the shrimp, we have the pork, and you add in the scallion, or you can use leek also. Then the flounder powder, the exotic ingredient I mentioned before, the dry shrimp powder, and we have salt here, pepper, a bit of sugar to balance the taste, light soy sauce. This is corn flour to thicken it so that it can bind together. And lastly, I also add in probably a quarter of an egg. It also acts as a binder. So now we have everything together and we just mix it together until it becomes very sticky. It's become very sticky now, right? So it is very easy to wrap. But if you want to be even easier, what I suggest to you is leave it in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes before you start wrapping the wonton. It makes your job much easier. This is a wonton wrapper. Put the prawn at the center. I normally put 2 prawns because my prawn is not really big. So 2 prawns will be just sufficient. Not too much of the fillings, otherwise it is very hard for you to wrap. Take the opposite corners, put it together, and use your hand over here to push it up and hold it and have a very light squeeze. You don't really have to squeeze it very hard because the corn flour and the egg inside the fillings will let the wrapper stick onto it. And have a look at this one here. All this. These are the free hanging side of the wonton. In the Hong Kong culinary industry, especially the wonton seafood or wonton masters, they call this golden fish tail. It's like a golden fish swimming inside the soup. So for the traditional way of wrapping the wonton, it is always best to leave a little bit free hanging one, just like that. That will do, yeah. I'll make one more for you to see. The prawn at the center. As I said, because my prawn is not red, it's not very big, so I'll put 2. Add a little bit of pork, alright, right at the center. And then take 2 corners, opposite corners, hold it together. And use this part of the hand, push it up and push up and just lightly squeeze it, turn it a little bit, squeeze it very lightly, and here it goes. It will not fall apart, don't worry. And for this wonton, you can cook it immediately in hot water, or alternatively you can put it in the freezer to be used later. Now let's cook the wonton. I have 6 wonton here. I put inside the water, give it a slight stir initially, and just leave it there for about 2 minutes. Now 2 minutes has gone. Now you can see all the wonton has floated onto the surface. That means that it is already cooked. So now we can remove it from the water. So I'm doing it according to the tradition. Most of the Hong Kong noodle restaurant, that's what they are doing. First they put some sesame oil at the bottom, then they put some leek, or in this case I don't have leek, I put some scallion, and then after that put all the wonton to the bottom of the bowl. Add the soup into the bowl, not full but about 60 to 70% full, because the final step is to add the noodles on it. This is the final step for making wonton noodles. I'm going to loosen the wonton noodle first and put it into hot water and cook it for a while. Meanwhile, you can use a chopstick to loosen it in the hot water. When it's ready, I'll immediately put it into a pot of cold water to shock it so that it will stop cooking immediately. So I'll just leave it that way if I want to, but since I'm going to serve right immediately, what I'm going to do is I'll put back into the pot of hot water just to heat it up for 5 seconds, and straight away I'm going to pour this one into the bowl. Put the freshly cooked noodles right on top, and it's time for you to enjoy your wonton noodles. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I know by now you know how to go around how to make Hong Kong style wonton. Enjoy!